Let's do this.
Alright everyone, so today I'm actually going to be taking a look at the newest gameplay footage that's come out for Armored Core 6. I have been a long-time Armored Core fan, long before the Dark Souls series was a thing. So I'm really excited to share my opinion, things I noticed about that with you, and I hope you enjoy it. So let's get it started. Also, shout out to Vati Video for letting us use this footage. So immediately I'm noticing a lot of that vertical level design that comes to mind whenever I think about the Soul series now. There wasn't a lot of that verticalness that was accessible in the Armored Core series prior. You started to get a little bit into the later like Armored Core series from 4 and on. I ended up skipping 3, but my experience with Armored Core goes back to Armored Core 2 on the PlayStation 2. That was the first game I actually got on the PlayStation, and I loved it to no end. But their level design just looks beautiful. I'm glad to see that we still have overboosting as a thing. We still got the 4 weapons that we have on the left arm, left back, and right back. You can hear the target lock-ons, and it looks like it's still got some of that loose lock-on technology. But there is a way to hard lock on, it seems, as well, too. So I'm stoked for that. I love it. Some of those fights were just absolutely crazy, not being able to hard lock on. And I think it's interesting what they did with like the stagger meter, how you can force them to take enough damage to be kind of in a stagger state. I like it. So far it's just looking so polished from everything that I've seen though. And here we're getting to some of those more tight corridors that Armored Core was famous for when it first came out. I do love that it really changes the way you have to focus on how you build your mech and how you play. The particle effects in this are just mind-blowing to me. We still got that burst movement that I love. That really made you feel like you were in kind of like that anime Gundam. And I love that there's follow-up attacks with the lightning sword now. I'm still planning on seeing if I can go through with one of those. I used to do it with just the plasma sword before, where I'd run through and use just the plasma sword trying to conserve ammunition. So I hope that's one of the things they keep when you're trying to balance missions and how much money you make, is having to replenish your armor points and your ammo capacity. Because I know they've added in some repair kits, and I'm hoping that if they do end up having to use the repair kits, that's going to be something that costs you money on mission completion. And here, with all of the new stuff that they've added, the new parts, they have simplified it a lot to make it very easy. Let's see, toggle display. It's hard to know like what buttons they're pushing, so we can't really see what they do when they're like trying to toggle the display here. I do think it's kind of neat that they're showing the fact that they're playing with an Xbox 360 or an Xbox Series S controller. And I think they said there's also going to be a way for you to like switch mechs mid-fight, so you can go into your garage, swap it out if you're having trouble like with a boss fight, so you can run multiple mechs. It's kind of like a drop and swap kind of thing. I don't know how they're necessarily going to do that, but I think it's pretty cool. I am so hyped for this game, like you can't imagine. Because this is something that has not actually been very common when it comes to the Armored Core series. The boss fights are quite a bit different. There hasn't been like typically one giant machine that you've really fought before in this kind of a setting. A lot of the boss fights before, you've been going up against like these massive army, military, air force bases. So you'd have to like fly through all the different parts of it, like out onto the wings, destroy the different generators, anything that can kind of launch at you. So I'm really stoked for all of this stuff coming out. I think it looks dope. I'm ready for some Souls-like boss fights, just to see what they do with it. Like, to me, that's the most wild card thing that's kind of out there. So, but all in all, I'm excited, and I hope you're going to be there with me to follow it through. I'll post updates when I get information. But Armored Core, Baldur's Gate 3, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth are my 3 most hyped games for this channel now. Now that we actually have Street Fighter released, of course. Anyhow, thank you guys for coming out. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.